Welcome to part 2 of the Houston Quilt Festival Recap on the Quilter on Fire podcast. For this second episode, I'll give you a little more about my experience at my very first Houston Quilt Festival. I'll share my stories from start to finish. I walked the vendor mall asking quilt business owners what they are most excited about featuring this year in their booths. I got a huge variety of answers, of course, and I also interviewed a few show winners, lecturers, and some quilters featured in special exhibits. And on the way home, I stopped at the Texas Quilt Museum. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and join me for the Houston Quilt Festival 2021 Extravaganza Part 2. Okay, I have special permission to film one of the exhibits here at the Texas Quilt Museum, and this one is called Storylines with Jane Birch Cochran, Wendy Hune, and Joan Schultz. And it's incredible because there are three completely different types of artists, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of this space so you can see how gorgeous the quilts are. They all have meaning and stories behind them. It's so fun to come in here and just pore over them and read what they're all about and see the incredible talent that's involved. So we'll just do a walk around and take a look at some of the stories of these quilts. This one's called Looking for God. Here's one called The Collector. Look at her dress full of little fun things. And here's one called The Silent Killer, where she's talking about her personal health journey. It's very interesting. It's such a great exhibit, and there's so many fun, different types of things to look at. Like I said, there's this collection with three artists. There's also the miniature collection in the other room. And then there are those antique quilts that are on display as well. Here's some Joan Schultz. And this one's really interesting. It's a compilation of digital photos and special effects, and she's got different themes. She's got one that's about photography, lens flare, a classic one about women, the city woman. It's really cool. You really want to come by here and take a close look and read what they're all about to really get a good picture. So, and you can also see the gorgeous building that we are in. Like, it's just incredible. It is like the perfect backdrop to display these beautiful works of art. Sorry about how quick that is, but just wanted to give you an idea of the gorgeous building. Let's go into the main gallery and I'll give you a view of the older quilts. Here's a look at the antique quilts on display at the Texas Quilt Museum. You can see this building is original and gorgeous, and quilts are displayed above and below and all the way around. It really is a must-see location if you love quilts and you're in the area. Here's a quick little sneak peek into the library, which is where you can take out books. I'm at the Texas Quilt Museum. You can take out books and just look at them here. You can't take them home. But they also have this really cool thing going on, which is the Mary and Joe Koval Antique Textile Collection. So there's these big cases full of antique textiles from their fabrics from 1775 to 1875. So you can see in these drawers, you can actually look at the fabrics, which is kind of cool. And it's a great place to just come and check out some history. You can sit back in a comfy chair and take a look at some books. Okay, I've got exclusive permission to film in the Texas Quilt Museum, and I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of this display, this exhibit by Kimiko Friedel. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because it's an incredible miniature display. So I'm going to just go around. I'm just going to show you sort of an example of how many there are. It's a wonderful display, hard to see from this distance, but if we go close up, as you take a look at a miniature quilt, if you're ever going to enter a miniature quilt in a show, you just want to know that everything is actually to scale. It's actually miniature. It actually is the exact miniature scale of a large quilt, right down to the binding. You can see how tiny the binding is, and the quilting as well. So it's actually quite astonishing that someone can put together a paper piece pineapple, for instance, that's that tiny. So I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of this. It's incredible. She also has a quilt in the International Quilt Festival, and she won first prize for her miniature quilt there. So you can take a look at that at the International Quilt Festival website. So here's just a quick sneak peek. This one's called Night Cruise on the River Thames by Kumiko Friedel. Did you like this trailer? Click on the link in the description below to listen to the full podcast.